LEIGHTDICKEY.com.
Do you have an event or occasion coming up that could use a special touch? Perhaps a wedding, a production, a show? Good! Then you're in luck. Hayley Moores is who you're looking for. Hayley is a makeup artist in the Toronto, Ontario area, specializing in bridal, glam, natural, and special effects. She's incredibly talented, professional, easy to work with, and has a personality that is second to none. To book Hayley Moores today, follow her on Instagram at mad_milash, that's MAD_MILASH, or email her at madmilash, again, that's MADMILASH @gmail.com. Book Hayley Moores today, you'll be glad you did.
LEIGHTDICKEY.com. LEIGHTDICKEY.com.
Do you find yourself reminiscing on what life was like when you were younger? Do your favorite songs, movies, and TV shows instantly take you back to a simpler time? Great! Then you're in the right place. Join me, Leigh Dickey, on my new web series and podcast, Yo Nostalgia, where I cover everything you grew up with. From films and toys to fads and trends, Yo Nostalgia has it all. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever podcasts are available. Follow along on social media at Yo Nostalgia Show to keep up on this time-traveling trip. Yo Nostalgia, breathing new life into your memories, available everywhere now.
LEIGHTDICKEY.com. LEIGHTDICKEY.com.
Do you enjoy good conversation? Are you a person with many passions? Perfect. Then the Beats and Speaks podcast is for you. Join me, Leigh Dickey, every Friday for stories and interviews about everyday life with everyday people about everyday things. Everyone has a story, and I just want to help them tell it. The Beats and Speaks podcast, your everyday life, everyday stories, everyday people, comedy and entertainment audio joyride. Subscribe and download on LEIGHTDICKEY.com, Leigh Dickey TV on YouTube, and your favorite podcast app. The Beats and Speaks podcast, available everywhere now.
LEIGHTDICKEY.com. LEIGHTDICKEY.com.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Leigh Dickey here. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. Of course, new episodes are released every single Friday on my official website, LEIGHTDICKEY.com, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and wherever podcasts are available. Please do comment, like, share, subscribe, leave us reviews, and rate us 5 stars as well, if you would, please and thank you. To follow along with me and the show, follow along at Leigh T. Dickey on social media. Of course, all the information will be down in the description below. You can also send emails, comments, questions, topic requests to LeighTDickey@gmail.com. This week, I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite cold weather drink? Whether it is fall or we get into winter, what is your favorite cold weather drink? That's happening right here, right now, on a brand new episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. Just on the other side of this, we'll see you in a bit. Alright, so yes, your favorite cold weather drink. I ask this as I'm sitting here drinking a homemade mocha where I took some coffee that I had in the fridge, even though it's getting a bit too cold for me to actually make iced coffee now because we're into October and it's getting a bit chilly outside. I had some coffee in the fridge and I figured, instead of just making your regular run-of-the-mill coffee, whereas if it's getting colder, I'd take the coffee from the fridge, put it in a mug, and then, zap it in the microwave for probably 45 seconds or whatever. But I wanted to add a bit of sweetness to it, and we have some hot chocolate around the house and in the kitchen, so I took some mocha hot chocolate that I got last year for Christmas, stuck it in with the cold coffee that I had, shook it, just to mix everything, poured it in a cup, and then put it in the microwave and zapped it for about 45 seconds, and it's actually pretty good. But I ask, what is your favorite cold weather drink? Because we're in October and it's getting colder and all that good stuff. And to be fair, if we had any in my house, I would love to just have some hot apple cider, but we don't have any in the house as of right now and as of this recording, which is unfortunate, but I do at some point want to go to like, a supermarket or even the local farmer's market while they're still on, if it's not too crazy with people attending, given like the way the world is nowadays. I'd like to actually just pick up some apple cider, just to have it on a day like this, because right now it's probably like 12 Celsius, which is about 53, 54 degrees Fahrenheit. And normally I don't wear a sweater in my house, but we have the thermostat, the temperature is usually set somewhere between 10 and 12 Celsius. So that's somewhere between like 50 and 54. It's cold. Okay. It's freezing. I shouldn't say it's freezing, but it's just like, it's a shock to the system and it's cold. I'm getting cold. Maybe it's just, you lose 50 pounds and then all of a sudden you feel the cold a whole lot more. But what is your favorite cold weather drink? I mean, I'm sitting here sipping on a homemade mocha, which is just hot chocolate and some coffee. But I prefer apple cider. Like, that's my thing. I know that a lot of the big coffee chains, whether it's McDonald's, Starbucks, Tim Hortons if you're in Canada, Dunkin' Donuts, or wherever you go to get your coffee, they have the fall stuff. The big thing for fall is your pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice is the big thing. And don't get me wrong, I've had my fair share of pumpkin spice, everything, scones, lattes, whatever you want to call them. And, I mean, it's fine. I will admit, and I'm not knocking, like, the companies or whoever for selling anything pumpkin spice or anything sort of peppermint or, caramel-like once we get to, say, Christmas. But, I'm not knocking it. It just tastes like simulated flavor to me. And to be fair, I'd much rather make it at home because that way I know what's going into it. And that way it's not going to cost me, say, $6 or $7 for like a medium or whatever, or even a large. So I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people, they love pumpkin spice, and I have no problem with pumpkin spice or any of the Christmas drinks at these big chains or even the small chains if they do that. Like if they bring those out, the peppermint stuff or the caramel. Brulee is a big thing around Christmas time, or even the chestnut lattes, if you've had a few, chestnut praline. I know Starbucks, they bring that one out, and, I've been known to indulge in the chestnut praline once Christmas rolls around somewhat. But I prefer, give me like hot apple cider, just, I'll pour it in a mug, put it in the microwave, zap it for 30 to 45 seconds, maybe a minute if I feel so inclined, and then I'll drink it. It'll warm me up. It's perfect. It's cozy. I feel good, and therefore I stay at home. And right now, like, today's a good day to have like what I'm drinking now, which is just a homemade mocha, because it's raining and I don't feel like getting unnecessarily wet considering I've already had a shower today. So my preferred fall cold weather drink is just some hot apple cider, right? I'd much rather, like, let's just, say it's from a farmer's market. And not that they're asking me to do this, they probably don't even know who I am, but the apple cider that I like to get from, say, my local farmer's market is from Willow Tree Farms. And some friends of mine actually turned me on to Willow Tree because they used to have a cottage up near where this farm is. And, it's some good, it's not overly sweet. Like, it's just cold pressed apples. It's nothing, there's no added sugar, no nothing. It's just pure cold pressed apples. And it's just top notch. I mean, whether it's like from, say, Willow Tree Farms or any of the other local, farms in Ontario where this show happens to come to you from. I'm in Toronto, Canada. But, if it's any of the major, I shouldn't say, if it's any of the local farms around here or in Southern Ontario, then it's just fantastic because, it's just cold pressed apples. And tip, I heard this last year, I think, when I would go more frequently, but given the way, like, the situation of the world now, I haven't gone as much, if at all. I think I've gone maybe once or twice, all like in the 3 months they've been open, because they were delayed because of certain global situations now. So, I've probably gone to the farmer's market this year maybe twice. And the last time I went, they didn't have the apple cider because the last time I was there, it was July, maybe even like early August. but I just, didn't feel like, risking it, I guess you want to say. But I might go depending on how, what they have and, how crazy busy it is. But, I know Willow Tree Farms, they're out in Port Perry, Ontario. They have some good stuff. I know that there are several farms that come to this farmer's market, and I can't remember them all, but they have just some top-notch apple cider. Like, if you go to these local farmers markets, go to your local farmers markets and see what you find. Yes, you're paying a little more because it's sort of premium, because it's, farm to table, if you want to call it that. You're buying directly from the people that harvest this stuff. Yeah, you're paying a bit more, but you know what? In my opinion, you pay a bit more, it's worth it. And here's a bit of a tidbit. If you want to, so especially with like apple cider and stuff like that, especially if it's like cold pressed, if you want to stick it in the freezer, it could probably last you 2-3 months, if that. Like stick it in the freezer, and you'll be good to go for like 2-3 months, and it's just amazing. Honestly, it is. So, I mean, that's just me. I love me some apple cider. I love me some hot apple cider on a day like this. Like, as I said, it's like 10-12 degrees outside. It's 10-12 degrees in the house. I'm wearing a sweater. I'm a little chilly, probably because, I've dropped so much weight. And, like in the last, say, year and a half. But, I've never thought I'd say 2 words, Leigh and thin, in the same sentence ever again. I haven't said those words probably since I was in high school. And to say them again, it's amazing. But I feel the cold a whole lot more now that I'm about 50 pounds lighter. So, I mean, the beard helps keep me warm, but I am 50 pounds lighter and it's a little colder. My bones are feeling it a little more. I mean, as I'm drinking a homemade mocha, I prefer apple cider just because, that's my preferred drink of choice. It's nothing overly sweet. I can easily just put it in a mug. I can zap it in the microwave and I can just enjoy it. I can warm up. And I can just go about my day in the fall. Like, to be fair, fall is my favorite season. Don't get me wrong, I love Christmas. I'm not a big fan of snow, but I love fall. Okay? I mean, I'm not a big fan of rain either, but I do love the fall. I love wearing layers. I love getting to wear sweaters. I love getting to wear, like, long pants, like jeans and slacks and khakis and things like that. But, and in my opinion, cider is the perfect drink for the fall. Perfect drink for, say, September through November or September through February, depending on your preference, just depending on how cold it gets and whether or not you like to, I'd like to just stay as warm as I can through the colder months. So basically from September through February, if you want to call it that, like let's just say at the end of February, maybe even like into the middle of March, give me some hot apple cider and you and I will be friends forever. That's basically how it goes. But that's just a quick tidbit on what I like in the fall. I like me some hot apple cider. If I feel so inclined, I will have a hot coffee, black usually. I don't have anything in it. Or a hot, say, orange or green tea. Those are my preferred fall drinks. But I prefer just, hot apple cider, preferably like off the farm. Like I said, Willow Tree earlier. They're perfect for the stuff. I know that, like, you check your local farmers markets if you buy one. Like, I'd pick up apple cider if they have it because you can't go any better than fresh, just cold-pressed apples in apple cider. It's nothing else, nothing but apples in apple cider. And that's the way it should be. It's just pure apples that have been pressed into juice, basically, or cider, if you want to call it that. And it's fantastic. I know Willow Tree makes some great stuff. And there are several farmers markets, around the city of Toronto where I happen to live. And then there are, several local farms at each farmer's market, and they all bring like top-notch stuff. So, hot apple cider for me. What do you guys prefer? Leave it in the comments below. Tweet me on social media at LEIGHTDICKEY. Leave us a review. Rate us 5 stars if you would, please and thank you. Remember that new episodes of the Beats and Speaks podcast are released every single Friday on your favorite podcast app and player of choice. All information can be found down below in the description, or go to my official website, LEIGHTDICKEY.com. All right, thank you all again for listening. I have been Leigh Dickey. This has been another episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. We will see you all next week for a brand new episode. Until then, have a great one. We'll see you soon. Peace.
LEIGHTDICKEY.com